In every ancient tradition, in every hidden text and whispered teaching, one truth repeats itself. Breath is the bridge. It is the first act of life and the last. Yet between these 2 points, hidden in the rhythm of inhale and exhale, lies a doorway, a passage not to the next breath, but to the fabric of reality itself. For the ancients, breath was never just air. It was spirit, soul, the very current of creation. And those who mastered it claimed to glimpse worlds beyond this one, stepping through a hidden threshold where matter dissolves and consciousness awakens. This is the story of how breath, more than thought, more than ritual, holds the forgotten key to unlocking reality's secret doorway. The Hebrew Bible, the book of Genesis, begins not with matter, but with breath. And God breathed into man the breath of life, and he became a living soul. The Hebrew word ruach means both breath and spirit. In Greek, pneuma carries the same double meaning. In Sanskrit, prana is not only breath, but the cosmic energy that sustains the universe. This is no linguistic coincidence. Across cultures, the ancients understood that breath was not merely biological, it was metaphysical. Each inhale was seen as drawing in divine essence. Each exhale, a return of that spark to the cosmos. Breath was the heartbeat of creation itself, a vibration that connected the mortal body to the infinite. Long before modern science studied oxygen and carbon dioxide, ancient initiates were experimenting with breath as a tool for awakening. In the caves of India, yogis practiced pranayama, regulating inhalation and exhalation to still the mind and pierce the veil of illusion. The Upanishads whispered that through control of breath, the doorway to moksha, liberation from the cycle of life and death, could be opened. The Sufis spoke of nafas al-Rahman, the breath of the merciful, describing the universe itself as the exhalation of the divine. Each being, each star, each atom was carried on this eternal outbreath. And in return, mystics trained their own breathing as a mirror of divine rhythm, aligning their soul with the cosmic pulse. Even in Christianity, the Desert Fathers, secluded in caves and barren wilderness, used breath prayers, short, repeated phrases tied to inhalation and exhalation, to enter altered states of communion. These practices were not viewed as superstition. They were guarded secrets, tools of transformation. They claimed that within controlled breath, the veil of reality thins and hidden worlds reveal themselves. Modern neuroscience offers an unexpected confirmation. Breath is the only bodily function that is both voluntary and involuntary. The heart beats without command, digestion unfolds without thought, but breath sits between. It can run on its own, or it can be taken under conscious control. This duality makes breath a key to the nervous system, able to shift the body from fight or flight into stillness and clarity. Slow, deliberate breathing increases activity in the vagus nerve, opening pathways to calm and expanded awareness. In this state, brainwaves shift. Alpha and theta rhythms rise, the same frequencies associated with deep meditation, dreams, and altered states of consciousness. Science may not call it a doorway to hidden dimensions, but it confirms what mystics have long said. When breath is mastered, perception changes. Reality itself seems to soften, revealing layers unseen by ordinary sight. Why then, if breath holds such power, is it not central in modern life? Why has this ancient science been forgotten, reduced to stress relief techniques and wellness trends? because those who understood breath's full potential often kept it hidden. Breath was never just about health, it was about power. The control of consciousness, the ability to transcend ordinary perception, and perhaps even to touch realms beyond the material. Secret societies, esoteric schools, and mystical sects guarded these techniques. The hermetic texts spoke of the wind that moves between worlds. Taoist alchemists developed breath formulas said to extend life indefinitely. Even medieval grimoires hinted that breath could be used to conjure visions and open portals. To the uninitiated, such claims sounded impossible. To the initiated, they were dangerous truths best concealed from a world unprepared to wield them. In our modern age, whispers of simulation theory suggest that reality is coded, a program of perception. If this is so, then breath may be the access key written into the system itself. Breath alters the program by changing the user, the consciousness experiencing the simulation. The ancients described breath as vibration, and vibration is the language of energy, frequency, and information. When one breathes rhythmically, deeply, and with intention, the body becomes like a tuning fork, harmonizing with unseen frequencies. Could this be the forgotten hack in the code of reality? The simplest act, inhale, exhale, unlocking hidden architecture and revealing the illusion for what it is. Those who have practiced deep breathwork describe similar visions, tunnels of light, fractal geometries, encounters with beings of pure energy, or profound dissolutions of ego. These are not rare anomalies but common reports, whether from yogis, shamans, or modern seekers experimenting with holotropic breathwork. The doorway is not always gentle. Just as fire purifies and destroys, breath can strip away illusions but also confront seekers with the raw truth of themselves. Ancient teachers warned that one must prepare the mind and spirit before attempting to step through. Yet for those who endure, the result is often a deep shift, the recognition that reality is layered, that life is more vast and mysterious than the waking world suggests. Some traditions go further, teaching that the entire universe breathes. Hindu cosmology speaks of Brahma inhaling and exhaling entire worlds, each breath cycle lasting billions of years. When Brahma exhales, the universe expands. When Brahma inhales, creation dissolves back into silence. In this vision, our personal breathing is but an echo of the cosmic lungs, a miniature reflection of universal rhythm. To breathe consciously, then, is to align one's soul with the heartbeat of the cosmos, to feel not separate, but part of the eternal cycle of becoming and returning. Christian mysticism carries echoes of this truth as well. In the apocryphal Gnostic texts, Christ speaks not only of belief, but of spirit as breath. Some early sects practiced breathing prayers that synchronized body and soul with divine light, suggesting that salvation was not only faith, but direct experience through breath. The Church over time turned these teachings into ritualized words, but fragments remain in the quiet monastic practices of hesychasm, where the breath itself becomes a living prayer, leading the seeker into unbroken communion. What was once a central mystical practice became hidden, relegated to silence, so that only a few would ever discover its doorway. Breath also marks the boundary between life and death. In many traditions, the soul's departure is described as the final exhalation, the last breath carrying spirit into another realm. Shamans teach that through conscious breathing, One can rehearse this passage, learning to cross the threshold while still alive. Near-death experiences often describe the sensation of being carried by a current, a wave, a breath that pulls consciousness into light. Could it be that the final breath is itself the doorway, the passage we fear, yet also the secret that has been hidden in plain sight since our first cry at birth? As the world accelerates into noise, technology, and distraction, the simplicity of breath offers a countercurrent. To stop, to breathe consciously, is to reclaim awareness from the machine. In every inhale lies the opportunity to step beyond the ordinary, to awaken. Perhaps this is why so many mystical traditions hid their greatest truths within the most ordinary act, because only those who look deeper, who breathe not for survival but for spirit, would find the secret doorway. And as more seekers rediscover this forgotten key, humanity itself edges closer to remembering its true nature, not as machines of flesh, but as beings of spirit, carried on the eternal breath of the cosmos. The secret doorway was never locked. It was never hidden in distant temples or buried in forbidden texts. It is here, always, in the quiet rhythm of breath. To master it is to master the threshold between body and spirit, illusion and truth, life and eternity. Every inhale is an invitation, every exhale a surrender, and between them, the doorway waits. You just uncovered another secret with JB Animated Mysteries. If this journey spoke to you, like, share, comment and subscribe so you never miss the hidden truths waiting in the shadows. Until we meet again, remember, the veil is thin and the mysteries are endless.